invited to speak today, I was absolutely thrilled as I see company directors as critical in creating solutions for climate change. And it's not easy for directors. In fact, the odds can be stacked against us. I almost didn't make it here today. I'm recovering from a bout of bronchitis. And last week I had an asthma attack and had to be bundled off in the ambulance. But as I was travelling to the hospital, I was thinking, oh no, I'll have to cancel today. But luckily I'm recovering and I'm very grateful to be here, so thank you. So I apologise in advance if I cough. It sounds like a smoker's cough, though I've never smoked, but I did used to sit next to a chain smoker back in the 80s. How times change. Today, of course, is World Environment Day, and my vision is a world where every organisation embraces sustainability and takes meaningful action. And I'm hoping I can encourage you to see that taking climate action is as beneficial for your organisations as it is important for the world. Okay, that's me. I trained as a climate reality leader with Al Gore back in 2016. We learned about a future where the intensity and regularity of extreme weather disasters increases substantially. And now we are living in that reality. But what can directors do about it? The most important thing you can do as a director is to take imperfect action now on climate risk and sustainability and ESG. And I use all those terms interchangeably. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Start now as momentum is building. Climate change is increasing and expensive and affects every business. Mandatory climate reporting is being introduced and the sustainability industry is a new industry. Sustainability in business used to be optional until mandatory climate reporting came along, which kicked in 1st of January this year for the largest organisations. It also applies to the suppliers of the reporting entities. When I first saw the mandatory climate reporting guidelines, it was hundreds of pages in multiple documents and developed by scientists, bureaucrats, government accountants, not by business people. So that's what we're up against, a relatively new industry with new standards being mandated in a complex way. So I spent hours summarising the guidelines down to 8 pages into a white paper. Nowadays, I'd use my friendly AI assistant, but hey, that was back in 2023. Extreme weather events driven by climate change is costly. And sooner or later, this adds risk to your business. Just this week, Australian Treasury showed that natural disasters have cost Australia's economy $2.2 billion in the first half of 2025. According to the Climate Council, the cost of natural disasters in Australia has more than doubled since the 1970s, and it reached $35 billion for the decade 2010 to 2019. And they estimate that by 2038, extreme weather events and the impacts of sea level rise could cost the Australian economy $100 billion each year. So with the increasing pressure to take climate action, businesses just need to get on with it, and it's in our best interest to do so. And that's why I say take imperfect action now. Sustainability can be complex, resource-hungry, and it takes time to implement. You need a runway to develop your strategy, kick off and run your climate projects, and report. To get momentum, you can simplify your decision-making. Has anyone heard of the jam experiment or the paradox of choice? A consumer study found that when jam was displayed at a store, people were 10 times more likely to purchase when they reduced the number of jams on display from 24 to 6. They increased sales when there was less choice. This was emphasised when the decision task was difficult, complex, or hard to compare, much like sustainability. So my message is that with mandatory climate reporting now in place and outside pressures to act on climate, the sooner you act, the better. Simplifying choice is key, and you'll need strategies that work in a relatively chaotic and complex environment. Let's go back again. Okay. As directors, it's important to avoid sustainability chaos by simplifying sustainability and introducing team-led strategies. I believe in giving your team members responsibility, accountability, and training. Whether that be in project management, communications, sustainability, empower them to run your climate projects. I'd like to invite you to join our webinar next Wednesday, where we'll go through how to set up your team for success, and I'll share the webinar details at the end. Doing a climate risk or materiality assessment and acting on it will have the single largest impact you can make in your company. And it ticks all the boxes of climate reporting and keeps your stakeholders happy. Your team would assess and prioritise your most significant impact or risk of impact, either negative or positive. Then you formulate your top 5 critical goals to work on, depending on your strategy and your resourcing. And my tip is to get to this point as quickly as possible. Get your 5 critical goals signed off so your team can start to take action. You need momentum, so don't get caught in the weeds. Introducing a sustainability management system is vital as a way for you to create value and avoid inefficiencies. I created the EARTH system when I was writing my book. And EARTH is an acronym stands for Embrace, which is about engaging your leadership and team to support the shift towards sustainability. Assess, which is evaluating where you are now and where the most impactful opportunities for improvement are. Reach is setting realistic goals that align with your strategy, customers, and regulatory requirements. Transform is implementing practical actions that embed sustainability into daily operations. And Harvest is reaping the rewards through cost savings, increased revenue, and market advantage. Another strategy is project managing your organisation's 5 critical goals. The goals may be a combination of projects and with a start and end date, and practices which are ongoing. Examples of projects could be changing your waste system, sourcing a new supplier for your inputs or packaging, installing a battery system. Practices could be only selecting local suppliers, preferencing online meetings or events, or energy reduction strategies. Now, you may be tempted to address other sustainable goals, but don't. And the reason is at this point you've identified your top 5 as the most important goals, and these have been resourced and signed off. Other projects can go on the back burner and then be revisited when the goal is complete. Earlier this year I did my GRI Certified Sustainability Professional training, and something that blew my mind was when the climate reports are submitted, the reports themselves are not checked by GRI. They just want to know that you've done them. You report for your stakeholders, your clients, suppliers, investors, competitors, partners, and your employees. Even if you're not doing climate reporting, the key here is to make decisions through the lens of your stakeholders and keep them happy. There are enormous benefits from taking responsible climate action in organisations. More tenders and contracts with sustainability now a key criterion in procurement. Grants and funding eligibility. Many programs require evidence of environmental performance. Reduced overheads with lower energy, water and waste costs. Stronger team culture where you attract and retain people who align with your values. Enhanced brand reputation, your position your business as a forward-thinking and being responsible. In the final stage of the Earth system harvest, your information gets fed back to finance for reporting and fed back to marketing. In your marketing, you can talk about your wins that you've made with sustainability. Now, this is where businesses fear being accused of greenwashing. Outsiders might say, oh, that's great, but what are you doing about this or that? Well, greenwashing is where you are being misleading. There's nothing misleading about making a business decision to act on certain projects and not on others. But if you follow the system, you can confidently say, well, we've done a materiality assessment, we've selected our 5 critical goals based on what we're seeing as making our greatest impact, and we've acted on those goals. We know that there's always more that can be done, and we'll incorporate your feedback into our next materiality assessment to measure the actual impact and whether it makes good business sense to do this. Thanks so much for your feedback. You can cut and paste that into your socials. By addressing sustainability, ESG, climate risk and opportunities through a simplified sustainability management system, you and your team create value by being responsible. There is increasing pressure for companies to act on climate, but no matter what, it will be forced upon us. And it may be sooner than you think. So why not choose it and be proactive about climate risk and avoid playing catch up with your competitors? So the most important thing you can do as directors is take imperfect action now on climate risk, sustainability and ESG. The momentum is building and you don't want your organisation to be left behind. As directors, it's important to avoid sustainability chaos by simplifying sustainability and introducing team-led strategies, such as focusing on your stakeholders, introducing a sustainability management system, identifying your top 5 goals through a climate risk or materiality assessment, and project managing your goals. You can remove the barriers, the complexity, and make sustainability simpler than you think by thinking of sustainability as a system where you treat climate risk seriously, identify your most significant impacts, and continuously improve and simplify through focusing, project managing your 5 critical goals. You'll be on your way to simplifying sustainability in your organisation and harvesting the ever-increasing benefits of taking climate action. Thank you.